everybody for tuning in. We got another episode of HD coming your way. I'm Hassan.
I'm David.
And let's get right into it. This week we're going to be talking about the NFL. The season just started. And we're going to start off with the top 3 games of the week. We got Atlanta versus Detroit. And as you all know, Atlanta blew out Detroit in their first game back. So what did you think about that, David?
I was impressed, of course, at Matt Ryan because, this is probably next to Aaron Rodgers. He probably has the most pressure on him coming back, you know what I'm saying, trying to replace some big shoes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first game of the year as a rookie, Matt Ryan had 9 for 13 with 161 yards and a touchdown. That's very impressive numbers for a rookie first start. And, of course, Michael Turner tore it up with 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Atlanta, nobody expected them to come out the way they did. Everybody expected them to come out flat because of all the offseason, all the bullshit that was going on in the offseason. Like I said, Michael Vick, and to come out and destroy him like that was a very impressive game. Next game, Dallas versus Cleveland. Everybody knows Dallas. I mean, they were 13-3 last year, went to the NFC Championship game, but this year, I mean, not a lot of people were putting them where they're supposed to be. Tony Romo came out and threw for over 300 yards and a touchdown, and Terrell Owens did his thing with 5 catches and 87 yards. So Dallas, watch out for them. I think they're going to have a very impressive year. And next we're going to talk about
the Pats and the Chiefs.
Pats and the Chiefs.
Really scary game. Real scary game for the country. Happy game for a lot of AFC East fans and whatnot.
Definitely.
We got biggest story out of that was Tom Brady getting hurt and whatnot.
Out for the year. I mean, that's terrible for Tom Brady, for the Pats, for a lot of people that wanted to see the Pats come out and have another great year like they did last year.
It's still if you look at it positively, it's still a good look. You know, you got Matt Castle out.
They won. I mean, they did beat the Chiefs, and Matt Castle came in, didn't do that bad. But
without
Tom Brady, do you really think they're going to be as good a team as they were last year?
Certainly not. Like, nobody's going undefeated again for another couple years.
I think they might not slip past the playoffs. I don't even think they're going to make it to the playoffs.
You see, but the quarterback systems for New England has been wonderful thus far. I mean, I haven't seen one quarterback mess up in New England yet since 99.
Drew Bledsoe came in, he did his thing, but I mean, without Tom Brady had a phenomenal lead last year. He broke the touchdown record. Last year. I mean, everybody knew they weren't going to repeat what they did last year. Last year was a godly team. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but that's what the people expected them to do this year.
Okay.
Can't come in and win the Super Bowl. Now without Tom Brady, people are going to start writing them off, and I've wrote them off.
You see, but this is my whole thing with Matt Castle. Check this out. Tom Brady, everybody loves Tom Brady. He comes out, throws 7 for 11. Everybody's scared. Now Tom Brady gets hurt. Was it Foxborough?
Mm-hmm.
Foxborough. The whole crowd's dead. Whole team's negative, but Matt Castle, he still comes in, he's still poised. So it's a good look. So he's ready for the rest of the season.
So I mean, that was the biggest story in the NFL so far this Sunday. But some of the other biggest stories, Brett Favre.
Okay.
He came in, threw for 15 for 22, 194 yards and a touchdown. I mean, a lot of people had mixed reviews of what they thought Brett Favre was going to come in and do this year. I mean, he came out of retirement yet again, and I mean, what do you think? What kind of year do you think he's gonna have?
Favre's gonna bring them Jets back to the playoffs because the Packers, every team he's ever been on, there's always a bunch of mediocre receivers that elevate their game because Brett Favre,
Here's what I think about what's gonna happen to Brett Favre. He was on the Madden cover this year.
Oh, come on, that's bullshit, man.
I think he's gonna be out the 3rd game of the year. He's gonna get injured and retire. I mean, I'm sorry, Brett Favre fans. I'm a Brett Favre fan, but he's old, man. He's started over 200 games in a row. I think he's running out of juice. But he did have a fantastic game, but I think he's running out of juice.
Well, let's look at his understudy, Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Mr. Aaron Rodgers came out and had a fabulous game.
The new mayor of Green Bay, so to speak, coming out throwing 18 for 22 with 178 yards and 1 touchdown. But that comes out to be an 81.8 rating. That's the 2nd highest in NFL history for anybody's first start. So I'm impressed.
I expected this out of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, everybody remembers when Brett Favre was hurt in the middle of the game last year, and he came in and had very impressive numbers to lead the Packers to a victory. So Aaron Rodgers, don't run him off. He's going to be a very good quarterback this year.
I think the only people shitting on him is basically Green Bay fans, but they're so used to seeing Favre, it's hard for them to get used to it.
You saw that Lambeau leaf he had, though. So.
Oh, shit.
Colts, man. What happened to the Colts?
Don't ask me. I didn't even watch the game, dude.
Damn. Colts, I mean, everybody knows for the past couple of years, Colts 12-0, 13-0, 14-0. This year they come in and lose their first game of the season.
It's the first loss in week 1 in years, though.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in years. And Peyton Manning, everybody knows he was injured for the preseason. He didn't have a single preseason snap, and he came in and he looked a little bit out of sync. So next we have Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb came out and did his thing. I mean, nobody knew what to expect out of Donovan McNabb.
But now we know, like always, every year he's a yard machine. Every year.
361 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 receivers with over 100 yards in receiving yards. That is excellent. McNabb, watch out for him.
With that being said, who are your top 3 quarterbacks for the year?
Top 3 quarterbacks for the year. I'm going to have my man Tony Romo right there at number 1. A lot of people might write me off for that, but Tony Romo is a hell of a quarterback. He's been in the league 3 years, 3 Pro Bowls. I mean, you can't say Tony Romo is not going to have a fantastic year because that's just hating on him, because the man can play quarterback, and he's right there at number 1. My number 2 is going to be Drew Brees. Drew Brees has an excellent offense this year. He's got so many weapons to choose from. Reggie Bush, Marquise Colston. Now he got Jeremy Shockey.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have a hell of a year. And my number 3, of course, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is, to me, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, right there at number 2 behind Brett Favre. But
strange to see him on your on number 3 on your list. That's weird. Man.
I know, man. Peyton Manning, man, he's football. He is the face of football. I mean, if he's not on the field, he's in the film room studying football. That's all he does. He's Mr. Football. So who's your top 3 quarterbacks for this year? Number
1 is this is gonna be my favorite cat to watch throughout the year. I'm still watching Aaron Rodgers. I got to see how he progresses. I want to see this. Like, I'm really happy to be born at this time.
Put him at number 1 though, man. That's a bold move.
I'm telling you, man. He got everybody behind him. He got the whole city. He got that team. He got a lot of love, man. Number 2 is Derek Anderson from Cleveland.
Okay.
He's on that same Tony Romo status. He's just last year's Tony Romo. Basically an unsung hero. Cleveland showed him a lot of love. He's finally the king. He got the reins, and Cleveland's
got the team. Position for him now.
They're the team to beat in the AFC North.
Yeah,
so,
they are.
Now, number 3 is, of course, Donovan McNabb. The reason he's not number 1, which he is in the league right now, he's not my number 1 because I haven't seen the consistency yet. He's just returned through the door.
And the thing with him is he's very injury prone too. So that's what we got to watch out for.
Who are your top 3 running backs, man?
Top 3 running backs, man. Number 1 is going to be right there, Michael Turner, man. Michael Turner, as you all know, has been the backup for Liam Tomlinson for the past couple of years, but even then, he's been putting up impressive numbers. To come in and have over 200 yards in his very first game as a starter, that's Michael Turner's right there, number 1. My number 2, of course, LaDainian Tomlinson, Mr. Consistent, and number 3, Joseph Adai. I think he's going to have a breakout year.
Okay. My number 1 is Mr. You got Mr. Consistent. I basically got Mr. Versatile with Brian Westbrook.
Okay.
I don't even need to explain. So number 2 is going to be Adrian Peterson, of course. Got that Hall of Fame line in front of him. Tavares Jackson fucking up. They need to run the ball. Of course, he's going to show y'all some good things. And number 3 is, of course, LJ. And my only reason for choosing LJ is because, this is the worst quarterback situation in the league. You got Brody Croyle and who the hell else? I don't even know. But the Chiefs are really just fucking up. So all year they just.
I mean, he fell off kind of last year, but if you think he's gonna have another great year, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. He's a hell of a running back.
Top 3 receivers.
My top 3 receivers for this year, of course, Mr. T.O., undeniable. I mean, you can't stop T.O. Hands down, he can take over a game whenever he wants to. Number 2, Mr. Chad Cinco Ocho. And what do you think about that? With the big name change, I think he needs to come in and have a hell of a year. He came out flat the first game. He didn't do shit. So with his big name change, I think he should be right there at number 2, and he better have a hell of a year with Cinco Ocho. And number 3, I'm gonna put Marvin Harrison at number 3.
Wow.
He didn't play last year. He was hurt the whole year. I think he's got something to prove. That he's still one of those premier receivers. I think he has something to prove. That's why I'm gonna put him right there at number 3 with a huge year from Marvin Harrison.
But I like Reggie Wayne at my number 1 because the simple fact that you got Marvin Harrison coming back and he's basically trying to prove something, but he still couldn't get outstat Reggie Wayne.
Yeah,
Reggie Wayne got 10 catches over 100 yards and got a little touchdown and whatnot. Number 2, got to go to Cincinnati. My man T.J. Houshmandzadeh, probably the most underrated receiver in the game.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely.
He's number 2 in the league last year in catches and made the Pro Bowl, 9 touchdowns, impressive. But now, number 3 has got to be Braylon Edwards. Really impressive cat from Michigan. I hate Michigan, but I respect Braylon Edwards and I love the cat.
What do you think? What do you think about that bet he had with Michael Phelps? You think he's gonna win the bet?
a lot of y'all don't know, he and Michael Phelps made a bet before the Olympics. However many goals Michael Phelps won, Braylon Edwards would double that in touchdowns. That's basically saying 16. It's attainable, but you know what? Not this season, man. Not this season. It's just not happening.
Yeah, 16 touchdowns is a little extreme, but
I don't think anybody's getting
even
16
for Braylon. Yeah, not this year.
Certainly not Randy Moss with that damn quarterback.
All right, man. That wraps up another episode of HD. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. YouTube.com/High Definition HD is where you can find it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Hassan.
I'm David.
Thank you again.